going back to how just great and articulate you are with your words, we saw you at the last rose ceremony kind of speak out for the group when you accepted that rose. And I don't think that's something we've ever really seen before either. What
No.
compelled you to do that? Like, what compelled you to be the voice of the group? Was it something that you just chose to do or that you spoke with the men beforehand on?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, there a lot of those guys are great guys that want Katie to feel, this is what we talked about. We said it's our job. She's a strong enough woman; she can make the decisions for herself. Like she did not need our help. She's smart. She knows exactly what she's doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think that doesn't mean that you shouldn't always try to create an atmosphere that's conducive to her finding love. This is her journey.
Mm-hmm.
And, I can only imagine how stressful it is for her to have to choose from all of us, because I know how tough it is when it's just me. Right. So I think for us I have three sisters. We're all year apart. I always in my mind would be like, okay, how can I create an atmosphere for them to, feel heard, for them to, do they need humor? Do they need a safe spot? I don't know. How do I figure this out? Right. And Katie was stressed, and rightfully so. I mean, she was going through some stuff that she didn't have to go through. And I think that was the moment where, like, again, I'm about action. I was like, okay, well, and again, I didn't know how anything worked. So I was like, well, if there's BS going on in the house, like, I'm not going to put up with it. So I might as well just say it. And I felt like that was the moment where, all of us guys were like, hey, this isn't okay. So I was like, well, I guess I'm going to say something, because if it's not okay, then she needs to know. And what I wanted Katie to understand too is I wasn't there just to receive a rose. I wanted her to understand that, like, listen, I will risk everything for you if that means that you're going to get your person, whether that's me or not. And I think that was something where you'll see that, and maybe in that moment, again, I had no idea that a moment like that maybe had never happened, but it wasn't just me that felt that way. All the guys were like, hey, this is something where it's taking away from the love that she's searching for. And it's our job to make sure that all those distractions are gone so that she can have the space to find that for herself, because she is a strong woman where she's like not going to put up with anything. But there's certain things she shouldn't have to deal with that we could take care of in house. And I think that was a moment that kind of showed where we were like, we're going to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How did the guys receive it afterwards? Were they appreciative?
Yeah.
Or
Did you
do
guys
they
talk
have
about
your
it?
back?
Yeah, it's funny because some of us were like, I think the consensus was like, okay, whoever feels comfortable, right? That's can go up there and say it. And I think it just aligned where I was the one where I was like, listen, it hasn't been said yet. This is what's going on. And I think, it's something that we should do. And then after, the guys were like, hey man, like, good on you, but I know there was some great men in there that would have done the same thing. I just think it just aligned where that was, I guess, my time to do it. But I wanted it to come across where it wasn't taking away from our trust in her as well. And that was a tough situation where it was like, okay, Katie, you're smart. You don't need our help, but I think you should have all the information so that you can make the decision for yourself. And that's all us guys wanted. And that's what we talked about. Like, it's funny when I was watching it back, I saw a moment with Michael, and actually Justin was behind me, and Michael goes, how do you feel about it? And, I'm like, listen, I just want the best for her. And they felt the same way. Justin, same thing. And I think that was the overall reaction from the guys.